Start stream, and we are live. Cool. Awesome. I wanted to try something here real quick. See how much of a lag now it's gonna be now that give me 1 second. What I'm trying to do is see if people hop into my stream, I want to be able to talk to them, right? Engage. Video creator dashboard. Zoom my dashboard real quick. Never done this before. So my channel. Do. Stream manager. This is what I'm looking for. I believe that's what I'm looking for. All right, I think that works, right? That works, I guess. Cool. All right. So I think we're good. Now I have this stream here. I can do a pop out. That's dope. See if I can. I don't know how well this is gonna work out though. Oh, interesting. Oh well, we'll play with that later. That's cool. Cause yeah. Anyways, I'll play with it. So I'm messing around with the people are listening on my chat. I mean, on my podcast audio version. I'm just kind of messing around with the chat room toggle. It's pretty cool. Oh, like what I would like to see if people are allowed to communicate with me, and then I can message them back if it pop up. So, but no one's even. Oh, it looks like I got one viewer. ID count. Right. So, but anyways, all right. So this morning, well, first of all, good morning. How's everybody doing? It's crazy out there. I just talked to one of my old buddies from. People don't know. I used to show dogs, American bullies. People call them pit bulls. It's amazing. And I used to show them, and yeah, they were cool. It was a fun experience. I owned a few of them, still own now. My mom, I had to unfortunately rehome my dogs. My mom, she fell in love with them too. She bought a bunch of them. Now I have one here in Vegas, and I have my old dog that I had for years, and she's a mixed cattle dog, and so I have her here. And anyway, so this guy, he is a video record like dogs and stuff, and documentary TV. That's what it's called on YouTube. You guys should check him out. And he just records history on dogs and what they do and all that. And we spoke last night, and it was crazy. We just caught up real quick, and man, it's interesting, you know, the circumstances everyone's in. I can't even. Hey man, look, let me catch next time we go to a show. I want to go see you. Let's go hang out. I love to go see dogs again. I love watching dog shows, and can't do that no more, right? It sucks. It's very interesting, and so now I'm kind of waking up every morning, just kind of blessed, right, of my situation, I'm fortunately doing well. I'm still employed, not unemployed yet, at least, right? And it's a lot of people are just dealing with that aspect. People getting laid off, um, people getting sick, even worse, right? Because, in my opinion, being laid off in this scenario, it sucks. But when the whole economy is messed up, then uh, it's kind of like you kind of all in the shithole together type of thing. Everyone's all fucked at the same time. So uh, I think it's going to massively impact my lifestyle, everyone's lifestyle, whether you're employed or not, because the economy's going to tank. It's just you have to weather the storm again, right? And I honestly, I feel that, man, these past like 10 years, 12 years have been pretty terrible. Like in regards to economics is concerned, because we went through the whole like um, uh, being up and down with the whole recession to now this type of thing, and then now causing another recession, people getting unemployed. So now I just kind of wake up, kind of want to think about being positive, happy that everyone's safe, my family's safe so far, no one's getting sick, thank God. And then people aren't losing homes yet, right? It got that dramatic. So hopefully we kind of weather that and go over the hump. So just remember that. I always just kind of like want to bring that up just because our perspective in your situation may be crazy, but it could be way, way worse for other people in the world, right? It could be in China where people, that's where it started. People really started getting sick, or Italy where it got real terrible, right? I mean, we were blessed to a situation where we were on the aftermath, we're at the very tail end of it. We're getting it, but we're like the last country we could learn from other people. So no matter how terrible the situation is, just kind of put things a little bit in perspective. So I just want to start off with that. Thank God, I'm really blessed. So hopefully you guys can self-reflect on that, right? So one of the discussions I want to talk about is like, well, how can I give the most impact during my podcast, right? And the original reason I started all this is just kind of reflect on some of my experiences and what I've had based on real world. Or you can look up, you can buy stuff, subscribe to stuff to learn things, but when it comes to actual reality of the situation, what does it look like for my scenario? Do I get positive reactions to when I'm getting interviewed, or does my supervisor care? Right. So in every scenario, with the exception of bigger organizations, so this is what I'm talking about: real small companies, 4 clients, 10 clients, 15, 50, 100. Those I think those companies, majority of the, this is my experience again, majority of the time do not care on your what certificate you have, what degree you have. That kind of, by the time it gets to the people who call the decision makers, right? They are expecting that you have some type of, they trust the process of the people below them who interviewed them. They're like, does this person think it's good? This person thinks, okay, all right, now the CIO, the CEO, the company is gonna ask you if you're applying for an MSP, right? Or if it's not that, then it's gonna be the director or CIO of the organization doing the final interview with you, and they'll discuss with you certain things. And at that point, they don't really care about your certificate. It's more of a culture fit or things of that nature. Um, and really early on, to get past the HR people, those are the ones who care about the certificate because they don't know how to properly judge you. So they rely on certifications to say, well, he has this, this, and that, so he's a good candidate, right? And it goes on, and then the culture get fit by the manager or the director. In this case, will say, um, this person will fit in, or this person understands the process, how to troubleshoot, all this stuff like I discussed in the old podcast, is that can't get certified for troubleshooting or understanding processes and stuff like that. So you'll understand only technical stuff, but not how to get to the point, get yourself to the location to do the technical stuff. You don't understand that, so that's part of the whole management thing where they communicate that with you. So um, with that being said, when you go and you say, "Well, I'm trying to get certified," um, I'm trying to get certified in this, trying to get certified that. Sometimes you may not get a positive reaction. Sometimes it may even hurt you in this scenario. If your manager is a been working there for 20 years and he's 60 years old and or whatever, and he's kind of on his tail end of his career and he wants to hold on to what the power that he has, you saying certifications may intimidate him, and this isn't just my experience. I've had this been told by my friends in the industry where they talk about some certifications that they're trying to get, and it actually very intimidates their supervisor. So sometimes it takes the things that you read or listen to on the internet, but with a grain of salt, because it may not directly impact your reality. Again, with generalists versus specialists. So if you have a decision to make here, right? When you're studying, when you have experience and all that, what how should you approach some of these job applications? So let's take a look at them now, right? Now, if you type in a title of a job, right? So you're in the field, or maybe you're new, right? If you're new, you will be typing sysadmin, but if you're new, you type in IT technician and all that. So this is what I got when I got IT technician, and I filter some of these so that way it demonstrates perfectly. This is my ideal specialist position. So um, provide on-site desktop support, notebook technical support, diagnostics, resolve issues, analyze, troubleshoot. What I really liked about this one, it really highlights the fact that it's a specialist IT support position. Provide notification to sys and network administrators regarding potential issues as they arise, one. And then be the users. Advocate to the IT management and the IT management advocate to the end users. So this is very interesting. It's the first time I've ever seen that. It's like you are the representative for the end user support because you are such a specialist in that realm. Is what the job will ultimately would like you to be, right? Is that you know them so well and you're in tune with them so well that you are the one to best speak for them in these meetings that they have, these IT meetings. It sounds like they'll have like IT meetings, or maybe they just want you to be more outspoken to help the end users. That's unique because I never had that before. I've been a administrator for a while now, and I have never been, and it's been hybrid, like administrator, but desktop support, kind of like the one admin who troubleshoots our VPN outages to the point where it's troubleshoot some of these email, right? And so I never had a clear definition of the difference. This is the first time I've actually seen a job description that highlights that. But this speaks to the fact that it's a end user support specialist. What does that mean? That means you touch computers and anything that touches the computer, and that's it. That is what a true specialist is. Right? So you're specializing in a computer system. That's it, a desktop. That's all you're touching. So printers, things of that nature, communicating to the desktop. Once it goes outside the realm of the desktop, it goes somewhere else, like into a server and all that, then it looks like you escalate to the sysadmins or network administrators. Right? And you become a technical notebook and all that. You keep track of all the issues, all that. That's a specialist. Now, here's one that's labeled a junior specialist that I don't like. So this is a IT support, junior IT support specialist. So what I don't like is the fact that Active Directory, Hyper-V, DNS, GPO, DHCP, this is a junior sysadmin. Okay. This guy is IT support specialist, a junior one. So, and bachelor's degree, 1 year experience in networking, troubleshooting, and desktop support. What this looks like to me is a badly labeled job title. However, it doesn't really matter, in my opinion, if you have a year experience, right, and a degree, obviously, and if you have an associate's degree, you're working on your bachelor's, cite yourself, apply for it. But um, this is something racking and cabling servers, man, dude. This is a what did I say? A junior admin. So this right here, this racking and cabling, this is a network technician work right here. So this looks like is a hybrid. This is a generalist position disguised as a specialist position. Probably the person hiring doesn't, or the person that's making the job description doesn't know. Direction of a junior IT specialist, senior IT specialist, as far as maintaining operation of IT. Right. So it looks like the guy who's a senior is also not properly titled, just because it doesn't look like there's somebody who's higher than those two. So see the difference here, where it's like this is the clear definition of a desktop support specialist. This is in a box. This is A plus certified, CompTIA A plus certifications, and all of that. And then this guy here is more A plus, Net plus, Cloud plus, right? Maybe some AWS, some Windows Server certification, or like has some experience with that. I got some cookbooks or something going on. And then because they don't talk about AWS. I saw AWS earlier, and it was talking about AWS, and it was a IT desktop. It's like, what? Oh no, Windows Server technician, and they wanted AWS person. So it doesn't make sense. Actually, hold on. Here's right here. Cloud technologies, Windows, AWS, and Azure, and it's a Windows Systems Administrator. It should be Cloud Administrator. Like, why not? So, a background in scripting and PowerShell, but you're a Windows System Administrator. Doesn't make any sense. So this is again another generalist. So the person that's hiring for this position is looking for a generalist position, not a specialist. So let's go back to here again. Let's go furthermore. So this is a network and system administrator. This is in its title in its title, it is a generalist, not a specialist. So because of the fact that it's asking for systems and network administrator, this is not even, we're even discussing it, like LAN stuff, AWS, Azure, Active Directory. They just want you to be the guy, right, of everything. It is years and years of study. Like that's my whole thing too, is that some of this stuff is a little bit, and if they want to urgent, but then they're probably not going to pay a lot of money. Like people who want generalists, and this is another thing. So when you're kind of looking at the specialists and generalists, my opinion, I think when you're first starting off, you should always tackle a specialist role in regards to certification. So say you want to start AWS. Stick to cloud for about 2 years studying. That may be excessive. I'm not sure how hard the AWS, for example, let me do something that I spoke about, so I've actually studied about Cisco. Stick to Cisco technologies and studying that with some other dabbling here and there, like pretty much how I did it, where I read the Linux book, I read a Python book, I've built a lab here, a system lab here, and took on projects that are outside of my realm of study. So that way you're really good at one thing, like you're really good at that thing, and you have a lot of little projects around it as you become a generalist, where we have a Hyper-V environment, can you help us with that? And you say, yeah, let me troubleshoot this, okay, boom. You do a bunch of Googling, you do a bunch of study, like do all that troubleshooting, sometimes a few days in a week, and then that's how you build that generalist resume. But you still have that field of study. You are at its core something: a cloud administrator, a network administrator, a cloud engineer, architect, whatever. So again, like for me, what I've been doing the last few years, I've been studying Cisco networking and Cisco technologies, right? So I spent a lot of time reading, through life too. I guess if I put more time, dedicated time into some of these studies, I would get more certifications faster, right? So I'll get my CCNP much faster. However, I've been also working and gaining that resume up as well. So early, early on in my career, I fast tracked how I recommended in my last video, fast track education. So I dedicated a lot of time into my education. And then I started while I'm getting experience, but just focus. I didn't care the money. I didn't care the title or responsibilities until I finished where I wanted to be at in my education, which was a bachelor's degree. So once I fast tracked that, I just dedicated a lot of my time to that. Boom, knocked that out the way. Then I got certified. Once I got certified, now I started more picking and choosing where I wanted to work, because those are the two things that really helped my career and get interviews and get into the door. Everything started opening with both of those two things, both of those things. Now with the when it comes to now, I'm looking at experience and all that, and I'm building my stuff around me, not just on networking stuff. I only want to work on Cisco technologies. I never said that. When I go into interviews, I'm like, oh, we have some firewalls, have this, you need to troubleshoot them. Like, yeah, I've had some experience with those, and I give a story. Or yeah, I bought a Sonic wall at home. I had two of them. I do some of these like labs at home. I kind of sell yourself, right? So that's how you build your resume to become a generalist. Generalists take longer because you cannot spend a few years. Imagine, so you cannot do 1 year of AWS, Cisco, A plus, Sec plus, right? Do all these things in 1 year and then finish them off, unless you literally have nothing to do. But even then, you'll burn yourself out. The second year, you'll kind of like be drained. It's like working out. It's like you're 50 pounds overweight, and all of a sudden you want to lose weight, and then you start running every day. I guarantee you, in about a week or two, depending on how bad your body is built, you will just like stop. It's like somebody who's just working out for 1 week, or just worked out hard the first time they've ever worked out. They haven't worked out in years. They go back to working out and they're like pumping the iron, and then the next day they're like, oh, and they take 4 days of rest because they're not used to that pain yet. The muscle tearing, just recovery, and all that takes long to recover. Same thing with the brain, right? You can't work out every single day with no rest. You can't work out every single day. You cannot study every single day with no rest for a year. You can't. Like it's you probably can force yourself to it, and then you're gonna take a few, time. I don't even know how long. I mean, I never done that, right? I never done 7 days a week, every single day studying. I've done 2 months, and when I did that for my CCNA, and even then I took rest, take a 1 day rest, and even then after that I was just like my brain. I remember taking the test, and then after I had like a headache, instant headache. It's just a lot of stuff happened during that time frame. Even with the CCNP, right after taking the test, I had a massive headache. Just because during the prep took a long time, took a lot out of me, and then did the test, and then after it just kind of everything kind of like hit at the same time. Just, oh man, I have a headache. I was just thinking so much, right? So you can't be AWS, Azure, network, and what else? Security certified. Like you can't do that in 1 year. So you have to like a 5 year plan or 4 year plan, right? To be 100% qualified for this position. Now, are they going to get this? I qualify for this position, but are they going to get this majority of the time? Not really, especially if their pay is low, right? So you can possibly sell yourself into this position because like responsible inventory control, physical and cloud hardware. It's a very like it's a big job. Like this whole thing, security awareness training, monitor, provide security, help manage the IT security problems, social engineering, spear phishing, and ransomware attacks. Like this is a whole thing right here. So for me, you have to be aware of of the job description and what you're kind of aiming at. Specialist puts you in a pigeonhole. Generalist will give you more pay. And these people will pay you more money than somebody who's just concentrating on the desktop, just concentrating on the service. Because like for me, I don't want to just focus on the servers because if you work with servers before, you get bored. It's if you do maintenance on them all the time, it's like you're logging into the same 100 servers, and you know which ones always have problems, and you just kind of like work on it, fix it, and then boom, that's it. Like on to the next one, on to the next one. It's all becomes repetitive. Generalist jobs are more exciting for me. I prefer generalist jobs. Pay number one. Number two, it's just yeah, you never know when you walk in through the door. You never know what's gonna happen. You have this idea of what's gonna happen for that day, and you have all these requests coming in, all these emails, and things of that nature. So a generalist I prefer. So that way, if I don't touch a server for a while, I feel that I'm falling behind. Right? If I don't touch a switch or a router or firewall for a while, I feel like I'm falling behind. Think of every month that you don't touch a very, in my opinion, enterprise level product. You're falling behind a few months. That's just the way I look at it in my head. So if I do 3 months of not touching a server, about 6 months to 12, yeah, to a year of lacking of that experience compared to a job that all I do is spin up VMs for new clients, or I deploy new servers to clients, upgrading their systems and doing that and stuff like that. Compared to that individual who's experiencing different requests and different and like kind of fidgeting and figuring it out, compared to that person, I'm a year behind. So after 3 months of not touching anything, well, anything server related or whatever the product the case may be. So defend that, make it like that you care so much about it, right? About the fact that you take pride in being able to do some of that stuff and actually touching it, being a part of it, all of that. So a generalist gives you more money. It takes longer to become that. In this world right now, the generalist is what keeps you around. People who are specialists will get cut. That's just the way it is, because we don't need straight desktop support when no one's coming into work, right? You don't need just a server guy because, well, you have to make cuts. There's 3 guys, for example. Let's say it's $1 billion organization. You have 3 guys. You have a senior senior network, and then senior cloud, like its own senior departments. And you have one director and then the CIO, right? For example, the person who get cut will be like the cloud, the security. Well, I guess not. I guess if they're like senior and have like 20 people under them, I guess I'm misspeaking there. But if it's like a $1 million company and you have network systems and then director and that's it, or all those kind of like branch out that way, the person who has a more general knowledge of the system will get kept and everyone get cut. Everyone else will get cut. In IT, it's very unlikely you'll be in that scenario because we're essential. So, like Google, the way Google's keeping up is because their administrators are in there working. MSPs are like that too, where if the companies they support are essential, they have to be a work at a company before they have it was emergency response. It's an ambulance, and we manage their systems. So we may not be essential to the overall day to day, but the ambulances need to be able to communicate. So they reach out to us when they have problems. But if we're not there, it's like, dude, pretty much, hey, our systems are fucked. Like, you guys need to come in. Like, what's going on? We're like, oh, we're not essential. It's kind of that whole situation. So the person who's more general of the knowledge, you're able to cut this person, this person, this person. Can we still maintain our systems? And then if the answer is yes, and that person stays, you want to be in the position where you're a generalist, because specialist, yeah, you'll be really good at networking. But as soon as economy takes a dip a little bit, those jobs are gone, because those are ones that pretty much gave the upper level guys more generous, more room to breathe. Right. So if you have to handle 1,000 PCs, 2,000 servers, or I guess like 2,000 PCs, 1,000 servers, 500 nodes, and then you're tracking inventory, you're doing all these patches, doing all this stuff, and you're dealing with that at user end support. It's a lot of shit, man. So you are gonna make an argument as to, well, I need more people. What do you need them for? Well, first is I need people to just get out of my office, so I need a desktop support. Okay, great, you hire a desktop guy. Then well, I mean, look, so I need more support because I'm patching them, but I'm always patching them late, and then I have to stay late. So like, okay, let's hire a sysadmin. Boom. Okay, great. Now I'm pretending to be the networking guy. That person's system administrator, this person, and desktop support. Now, if we lose budgets, right, people start getting let go on the end, desktop, whatever. Before we had 2,000 end users, now we have 500. So they're going to put pressure. What can we make cuts? Where can we make cuts? Do you still need the end desktop support guy? He's just sitting around all the time. There's not a lot of work to be done. Well, he still has 500 users. Nah, he's cut. So he gets cut because he immediately his workload got reduced because all he does is that. Now, if he started doing more supporting the systems guy, then he will be a less, well, he does that and he helps us with this. So then it frees all of us up so that we can be proactive on our system. So you can make an argument there. But what else does he do? Oh, he just does that. So if he just does that, he's out. It's like you're somebody who, I want a job, but I don't want to work in the sun. It's like, well, that's all I got right now. It's like, well, I don't want it. It's all right, bye. Right? Or there's hardly any work right now. And then you say, well, and you find a job and you go there and you complain every day. It's like that. It's like you only want to do a certain thing. That's what I kind of view specialists. I'm sorry if anyone's watching this and they're specialists, but the way I view specialists is that, oh, I only want to do this, I only want to do that. But yeah, it's true. People take advantage of you, right? If you are willing to do more, they'll pile more onto your plate without realizing that that costs money. Right, these skills cost a lot of money. Hiring just an AWS person, right, it costs more money than hiring. So if you hire a system administrator and an AWS administrator, those two people would either cost the same amount of money or more than the other. But now you're asking for one person to do both and be really good at both. And you're immediately saying, well, I don't want to pay double. Like, well, you're also not saying you want to pay 20% more. You want to pay 10% more, 5% more. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. Like the skill of the other one isn't a 5% increase. It's like potentially 2 to 5 years of experience, right? It'll be their education or day-to-day work. So generalists, you may get taken advantage of, but you have more power and leverage regarding being laid off, being fired. If you have more impact on the day-to-day and understand the system at a bigger scope, you're less likely to be the person who gets kind of axed right away. Specialists are the ones who are really good at this niche thing. As soon as that niche thing, people are programmers, are specialists, and those languages go out of date. They're done. No one's using them anymore, and millions of people, or I don't say millions, thousands of jobs are lost because of that particular language is gone, right? And I can't name some on the top of my head, but I'm talking about these in like 1990s or whatever, 80s that were developed, and people stopped using them. I mean, even sooner than that. I forgot. It's because the reason I know that is because during my experiences at work, my past jobs, they'll mention some programs that they write in certain code, and they're like, yeah, like, and this is outdated. And the guy who used to work for that company would tell me stories or whatever about, I used to write this, now they don't hire anymore. It's very rare, and they laid off a bunch of people. Now it's kind of still in use, but at the same time, so it's like they kind of keep me around, but I'm also good at this. So he keeps his job safe by being really good at something else. That's what a lot of these people do. So you have to be a generalist at some point. My opinion, you do education. If you're doing education, stick to one particular subject. Don't go everywhere because it kind of looks like it's like if you're dropping a major and you're switching all the time. it looks like you're not dedicated and you don't know what you want, so you're kind of figuring it out. That's good. Just like to learn, but not to get certified. Right? Don't get, in my opinion, I don't think you should get certified in like, if I look at somebody who, here's how I look at it. If you are cloud, um, yeah, cloud, sec, Linux plus, A plus, if you have all those, I look at it as, why haven't you went up one? What's stopping you from going at a higher level? Why are you only sticking to CompTIA? And if you don't have an answer of, well, that's part of my degree track for AWG or some of that. I'm sorry, not WGU, or something like that, then I would think that you have, you don't know exactly what you're looking for yet, or you're not ready for the next level of commitment for a more complex certification like OSCP, or like, what's a good advanced one? Any Juniper stuff, Azure, AWS, anything of that nature, OSCP, or I think I said that. Like higher level certifications that qualify you for like a whole other realm of level for job duties, right? So those come into play for me. But oh, I just studied this and I got these. I'm like, why? Why though? Why didn't you get this higher level? Because one of the things that when I look at it in a resume is, if you have a AWS certification, and you have cloud, A plus, and sec plus, I won't look at those anymore. I will look at the AWS. I'll be like, oh, you're that level. I get it now. But if you have cloud, Linux, Sec Plus, A Plus, I'll look at the Sec Plus and Linux Plus, and okay, great. So what do you know? And I'll test more on it, see, make sure like what level are you? Yeah, you're certified, but how real world experiences using the systems? Where are you? But I won't be. I will. All right, I won't be impressed because you got 5 of them, right? Being able to do 5 in a year or two, it only shows like the level of those certifications. So and look, I don't want to bash on the CompTIA certifications. It's just that they are in fact entry level. That's what they aim for. If you're trying to get into the certification IT world, I'm sorry, the entry level certifications is CompTIA, right? So if you have a bunch of entry level ones, like, are you trying to stay in entry level or what? I was talking to this one guy at my previous job, and he was a field technician / help desk technician, right? And I was I guess same thing. Hardly ever went on site though. I was more like administrator / help desk. I was kind of like that. In any case, he would go on site and at the same time be at the desk and answer phones. So, and then he once told me, well, I kind of want to do the A plus. And I'm like, why? Right. And then I was like, why? And then he was like, well, sorry, I got distracted. Somebody sent me a message. He's like, why? So why do you want to get an A plus? He's like, well, I want to start from the beginning. Like, you're already at the beginning. You already have a job way beyond of what the person that would start off this whole scenario be at. Like, if you get an A plus, this is a dream job that you would want to get. Like, you're not just fixing computers, you're at a next level now. You're at like help desk technician, field technician, slowly becoming an administrator. You have all these things now that you are in your resume. So why would you start at A plus? He's like, well, I want to just start from the beginning. There's this idea that you get the certification and then it's like the building block to the next one. It's not like that. So the certifications there are just meant for you to get you certified at a low level so that way you can sell yourself at a higher level. Now, it doesn't mean because you're not certified at A plus that you're not ready for a higher level certification. You can get the CISP. Like CISP, I ran into a video saying like this certification, a CCNA and the CISP aren't entry level. Like, they're not, right? If you're somebody who's never been in the field or studied or done anything in IT before, shouldn't just aim at the CCNA and then expect to just get it and then boom, you're in a job and making whatever 80 a year, 100 a year. Like, I get that. However, if you have no experience, I mean, I'm sorry, if you have experience, if you're in the field, right? If you had no experience, you somehow got a job, you land a job, you're working on it, you shouldn't go to the entry level job certifications. You're already at that. Like, if you want, if you feel like there's some if you feel like there's some educational gap that we're missing regarding the like you troubleshooting stuff, if you're like missing something there, then read the A plus book. Don't get certified. Like, there's no, it only hurts you getting certified. It puts you back 6 months to a year. Like, if especially if you're working, I don't care if people say, "Oh, it takes, it shouldn't take you that long." Whatever, bro. Like, if you're not working that hard, that means you're not getting that much experience. If you're already like if like somebody who's like and the reason I'm bringing this up because this person came to mind. I don't know them personally, but a security guard. So if you're a security guard and you're studying, right? You're trying to get into this new field, and you're a security guard and you study. Of course, you're gonna knock it out in 3 months. Why? Because you hate your job, right? That's the whole purpose. I hate my job. That's for me. Like, I finished my bachelor's degree in about a year and a half. I worked weekends and nights and finished my associate's degree because I hated my job. This security guard, she became a CCIE in like a year or two. She studied every day and she wanted to get out of the security guard job. And she studied, went from security guard to CCNA, CCNP to CCIE. And now she like talks and all this stuff. Her life is completely changed. Of course, she hated her job, right? But if you're already in IT and you're gaining that experience, now you want to get certified, there's no reason to get all the way down to the A plus. If you want to understand some of the processes of a computer and how it works to help you on selling yourself on a job interview and kind of like help you on troubleshooting stuff, read the book. Don't get certified. Just read the book. Read the Linux book. Read the A plus book. Read the cloud book if you want. Read the security plus book if you want. But then get certified. Narrow down what you want. And then once you get certified, you can kind of step out. Okay, did I like that? No, I didn't. I'm gonna go with something else, right? And in my opinion, I don't think anyone can get certified if the test is hard enough. I don't think anyone will get certified to the point to actually complete it and get it done if they didn't like it. Well, at least not for me. In my experience, I don't do anything I don't fucking like. Like, if I don't like it, I'm just like, yeah, nah, fuck this. I'm not a person that would just like do it just because I feel like I should do it. I'm not like that. So if you're like that, then kind of just be consciously aware, be self-aware on that. For me, I'll buy anything, pick it up, and read it. And I'm like, nope, I don't like it. Boom, put it down. Like, I'm done. Like, I am not comfortable or I do not enjoy that. So I'm not going to get certified. I'm not going to invest more time into it. Some people aren't like that. Some people more, I feel like they have this thing where they're like, I have to do this. For me, I'm just, nah, fuck that. So just kind of be self-aware on how you are and make sure you don't get yourself trapped in that. But for me, get certified into something you enjoy and like. Invest that time into at a higher level. If you're a system administrator already, don't get the A plus certification. Please do not do that. If you've been there for 3 years and right now, what I would recommend is cloud. Right? If you want to start dabbling into networking, obviously go to CCNA. Pick up the CCNP book, read that if you think you're at that level. If you touch Cisco switches before, you understand the concept of VLAN, you understand these things, and just get the CCNP. You don't need to get the CCNA. That's like literally Cisco's telling everyone not to do this anymore. We're following a ladder. You're able to be at a certain level and then get the certification at a higher level. Right? You're now able to do this. Instead, you had to do this in certification tracks. You're here in experience and then here in certification. So you have to start from here over here. But no, now Cisco's saying if you're here in experience, you shouldn't need to get certified like this. You should just boom, right? Or the whole purpose is like this. So if you're CCNP level and you're already doing route redistribution, you're doing route maps, you understand all that because somehow you got really blessed into this job, or you started very low and then you hit a job position, people got fired, quit, whatever, promoted, and you finally got into this position. Somebody taught you how to mentor and all this stuff, and it's great. So now you're at CCIE level. It's like, why even take the CCNP at that point? Study CCIE and then take it. You probably pass, and then boom, you're already CCIE with 6 years experience because you've had 4 years of somebody mentoring you, and they're in the CCIE. People are like that, right? So don't take something that'll bring you down. Take certifications that'll bring you up. If you have no experience, the next step is to get certified. If you have experience, get certifications at that higher level. Be to the point where if there's no person in that department that knows that particular subject very well, get certified in that. Boom, race, right? Especially if it's needed. If there's a need, no one's gonna want it. No one likes it. No one's gonna do it. Take on it. Get that experience. Especially if you know like backups or especially if you know it's critical to the organization there and to others. Like cloud. Oh, we're gonna start doing cloud. Immediately buy a bug AWS or Azure. Whatever it is they're doing. If they're doing Azure, get Azure. If they're doing AWS, get AWS. Start reading, get certified. When they start doing the projects, volunteer for those projects. Tell them, hey, I'm certified. Maybe they'll give you the reins. If not, just kind of be there. Kind of nudge your way in. And finally, when you nudge your way in, you go ahead and if they want to give you a raise, spend a couple of years there and then quit, right? Find someone else. So that's kind of my opinion. Education-wise, stick to specialists. Work-wise, always try to be a generalist. Always, if you're starting at a specialist, always try to get yourself into a realm of build your resume. When people look at it, they're like, wow, you kind of like sys or a network and kind of do both, right? Once you start getting people reviewing your resume like that, that's where you're in the right direction. So that's kind of like my 2 cents. I hope you guys had a good time on that. So cool. Just hit up this is going to be available instantly on audio, on Anchor, Stitcher, all of that. And then, of course, on my website, theitblog.com, theitblog.info. And on YouTube, it's going to be posted probably later tonight. So look forward to that. So see you guys tomorrow. It's about 10 o'clock. So peace.